opener 18. So now, before we were working with plus, plus, and minus, minus, and now we're going to mix it up. It looks like there's a mistake in my copy. This should be a minus 12. And so when you have a minus and a minus, this is where it gets tricky. Because you know one of the numbers has to be negative. The only way to multiply to a negative is for one of the numbers to be negative and the other not to be. But when you're adding to, in this case, a negative 1, you know that the number that is negative has to be more negative than the other number is positive. Now you might say, what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at the numbers in this example. So positive 3 is less positive than negative 4 is negative. In other words, negative 4 is further on the number line from 0 to the left than 3 is from 0 to the right. So that's what would give you your negative 1, right? Because when I'm adding them, I'm adding a positive 3 to a negative 4, and that gives me a negative 1. So again, you have to be a little careful in your selection of numbers. So let's see if we can work backwards here. Numbers that multiply to negative 40. Well, again, now you have to work on both combinations of negatives. So make your list a little longer. So you can look at negative 1 and 40, 1 and negative 40. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, so 40. We're looking at 40. So 1, negative 1, 40, 1 and negative 40. Those obviously don't add to positive 3. And as you start to select numbers, you're going to start to get a little bit more refined in your choices, because you'll realize that, wait a second, like these are way far apart from each other, which means they're not going to get me to 3. We're looking for numbers that are kind of close together to get me to 3. If you don't see that yet, that's fine. So you just keep going with the numbers. 2 goes in 3, 4, negative 10, negative 4, 10. 5, negative 8, 8, negative 5. Sorry. Like that. And now 6 doesn't go, 7 doesn't go, and we're wrapped around. So adding these up. 18, negative 18, negative 6, 6, negative 3, 3, and this is my combo. So that breaks down into that, and so I know my number is negative 5 and 8. Number 2. Again, we always have to come into two binomials, and so we're looking for numbers that multiply to negative 63 that also add to negative 2. So do one thing at a time. Negative 63. Again, I'm looking for numbers close together, but in case you don't see that, negative 63 and 1. 63, negative 1. I'm, of course, writing it backwards again. I don't know why, but I'm going to go with it. 2 doesn't go in, 3 goes in 21, negative 21 times, or 21 and negative 3. 4, no. 5, no. 6, no. 7. Yep, so 9 and negative 7, and negative 9 and 7. So when we add them up, you get negative 62, 62. Negative 18, 18. 2, negative 2. Negative 2 is my winner, so I need negative 9 and positive 7. Right? You notice negative 9 and 7, the absolute value of those numbers is close together. Right? 2 apart, in fact, which is exactly what we're looking for. So hopefully that gets you to start looking more selectively. Whereas 3, I'm looking for something that's 17 apart. So I'm probably not going to be looking at the numbers really close together, like 6 and 10. Not for when it's negative, negative. So let's look at that. Negative 60. Let's do it over here. Two numbers and multiply negative 60. Negative 60 and 1, 60 and negative 1. 30, negative 2, negative 30 and 2. 3 and negative 20. 20, negative 3. Now I could keep going, but I could also recognize that, wait a second, negative 20 and 3 adds to negative 17. Those are my numbers. So I get x minus 20 times x plus 3. Again, if I want to be sure, remultiply them out. X squared plus 3x minus 20x minus 60, which is x squared minus 17x minus 60. That's my winner, so I know that combination works. Couple more. Things that multiply to positive 5. 5 and 1. That's all I know. Negative 5, negative 1, I suppose. So it adds to 6 or negative 6. Neither of these are 4. So this does not factor. Everything doesn't have to factor. Factoring is just one method, in case it does, to get to answers more quickly. Likewise, looking at this one, you can think of it as x squared plus 0x plus 36. And so now I'm looking for numbers that add to positive 36, multiply to positive 36, add to 0. Well, the closest I can get here is 6 and 6, or negative 6 and negative 6, but those add to 12 or negative 12. So that doesn't work out. I can't come up with any numbers that multiply to positive 36 that add to 0. Now, if this were a negative 36, then one of these would be like that. And so negative 6 and 6 would work in that case. Again, that's something we'll learn later, called the difference of two squares. Actually, we learned earlier. But when we have the sum of two squares, it does not factor. So again, does not factor. Hope that helped.